You're listening to an Influicity podcast. I'm really kind of curious about this. If you had to, I mean, maybe you have the data to support this, but if you had to guess what size house or how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, like what is the most popular? What is the most desirable? What is the most purchased, the most asked for, the most, highest return on your investment for the long-term layout or size? Like, what is the sweet spot where you're like, but this is the one that always does well? What is it?
So it's a really interesting question. And I would tell you that there's always a big disconnect between want, need, and afford. And so, sometimes what people want and what they need, they can't afford. And that's life. That's all of us have those things that we want but can't afford, or that we need but maybe are a bit of a stretch. I'll tell you a really interesting product type that always seems to gravitate towards the buyer, and that is a unique situation, and that is the smallest lot width that will accommodate a two-car garage.
No way.
So how's that for an interesting...
I like that.
And the reason for that is, and I recognize that I am providing you with some fairly consistent Ontario-based examples. That's one of the primary markets that we work in. And because land is so constrained in Ontario, the price of the lot is the largest input cost into the ultimate price of the house. And so when somebody wants a two-car garage, zoning will dictate what's the smallest lot where you're allowed to build a two-car garage. And in many Ontario markets, that's typically in and around 36 to 38 feet wide. So because we can then, kind of build around that and build up, we can add a lot of square footage, and we can get, 3,000, 3,200 square feet. But it's that lot width that provides that zoning for a two-car garage that suddenly becomes the sweet spot. So again, for your investor audience, there's always that real drive to get the most affordable two-car garage product, because they know in time that will be very valuable.
Brad, I don't think you know this, but I'm now putting this in some of my real estate investing training. When buying in master plan communities, the number one thing you need to look for is the smallest lot that allows you to put a two-car garage, because that is the most affordable or best return on your investment. I love it. I'm glad I asked that question. That's not the answer that I was expecting, to be honest.